What is this?
Episode 100.
Oh, yeah. We were supposed to do an alien episode.
Yeah.
But I only read that was a lot of shit.
I know it's a lot of shit.
I only read a little bit of it.
But there's the whole NASA stuff, and we can talk about it.
Hello, welcome back to the Lloyd and JD Shoot, the best fucking podcast in the world. I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
And today's the 100th episode. I can't even say it.
100.
100th.
100
is
episodes.
that a word? 100th? 100? 100?
The 100th
episode.
There you go. So we've been around for 100 episodes, which is absolutely...
Phaser training.
Phaser training. It's crazy. Yes, phaser training. You watch that vlog of it.
It's going to be a good vlog.
Vlog.
JD's phaser training.
There you go.
Carry on.
So yeah, we've been around for 100 episodes. Obviously, we've grown a lot, in the sense that we've got all our stuff consistently on iTunes.
Okay. That stuff has grown a lot.
Yeah,
we haven't grown.
Yeah,
as people.
no,
we've gone backwards.
We appreciate everybody that has subscribed, liked, watched the videos,
still watches
come
the
on
videos.
As guests. All those kind of things.
JD down in Walmart.
Tracks me down in Walmart.
Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah, so we appreciate all that stuff.
I still have my hood up. How rude of me. I was just warm.
There you go.
I was a bit chilly.
So yeah, last episode was episode 99, the episode that we figured nobody would watch. So we're going, if you watch that, you know what we're going to talk about this week, and that is obviously...
Aliens.
JD.
You're a fucking alien. I think that's why you're so against it.
Really?
Trying to hide the fact that
you're
in a skin suit.
Maybe.
Skin suit.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's like Ed Gein.
Maybe.
He's wearing someone.
But even if I am or am not in a skin suit, this week there was a big thing with NASA, and I sent you the link. I don't know. The whole planets and the whole system revolving around a dwarf star.
It takes 2,000 years to get there. That's when I lost interest.
Yeah. So it's 40 light years away. So
we're gonna get into some shit here. We're gonna get deep.
Well,
because I got some bullshit claims.
Yeah. So there's basically a dwarf star, 7 planets. They're inhabitable,
and they're in the great zone. Good, not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah. So if they're in there. Their plan is with NASA is to send out a radio signal to attempt to contact if there's anybody there in any kind of life form.
I should be part of that radio signal.
Maybe Lloyd and JD should just do a podcast and we send it out there.
What's up, guys?
So if they send a signal out in that direction today, it will take 40 years to travel there because radio waves, they travel at the speed of light, and 40 years later...
Speed of light is bunk. We need to find a new speed.
So, I mean, there's two kind of things going on. One, I mean, there's obviously the discussion of alien life. You know, if they don't discover alien life there, why is there not alien life growing there? Seeming as it has a similar habitat as here. Like, why didn't life grow? That'll be what they'll look at. Or the other part is they find aliens and then who knows?
Okay, but we're gonna go conspiracy theory now.
Yeah,
like 100%. So we got that new TV show. I don't know how to pronounce this word. It's like Geiga. It's I don't know. It's Gagia.
Okay.
How would you pronounce that?
Gagi.
Right? I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's a new I think channel of what it is, and they've been doing like it. I think it's a group of the guys that did Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
So now they get on people with sufficient evidence.
Right.
About aliens, and this includes some old like lieutenants, some people with high stature.
And there's obviously a lot of that information because I had sent you a document which you started reading and you were surprised at how much information I actually pulled from the CIA.
Yeah, and I can tell a lot of it like is just random encounters.
Sure.
There's some of them are more better.
Right.
More better. It's not even a thing, but
when you go through that documentation, I mean it's obviously it's just random people.
Yeah.
It's some of it is military encounters. Some of it is just, we saw something and we don't know what it was. and others, were obviously misidentified things that exist.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, getting back to this channel. So they had a guy on there who's apparently been involved in a lot of the ongoings within the American government. I'm not too sure what his stature was. I can't remember. Yeah. You guys can watch. You can actually pay for the channel.
Okay.
So not to give them free advertising, but if you do want to watch, you guys can get the full story there. So instead of getting my Mitch Matt. But there was 5 things he wanted to talk about. And one of them that really got my attention was this dark space fleet or whatever they called it, which is basically they have a list of like generals that their job is to be off planet, whether that means being on another planet or being on space, but they don't really come back very often. He started talking about literally like colonies of us that have been able to branch off, whether they live on spaceships but there's more stuff going on in space than we know.
Battlestar Galactica?
Almost. That's what it sounds like, that these guys are like they're working with something called this united government that's almost a space government where and you can get that, you get the same story from like the Canadian minister that goes up and he talks about 4 different races of alien that are working together in a government sort of thing that goes on. So that's what he was talking about. So the fact that these 4 planets came out, for me, it's almost like just to keep everyone kind of like, I think we've known of stuff like this for I think we've known about stuff like this for years.
Yeah.
4 years, like, and all these guys that come forward saying, when we first started the space program, we got contacted by, which is, when you think about it realistically, that's when you think, okay, they would have found out about aliens.
Right.
When they were first asking the questions, when they were first sending signals out there, that's kind of when you would expect the signals, right? And when any one of these officials or any one of these witnesses that have been involved within the government workings or claim to have been involved within the government workings, they all say the same thing. We made contact with something during our first outreach in the space program, and we've been making and being in contact with these people ever since.
Right.
So for me, I feel like when they come forward, they'll be like, "Oh, we found these planets," but they've known in my opinion, for years.
Right.
And it's just like, when are we going to let them know? Just little tasty bits that they release every now and then, you know what I mean? Just to keep, just so that we know where our money's going when in terms of, because if you look at how much money the government spends on black projects, which who the fuck knows what that is up to $4 billion is spent on black projects. What the fuck is that? That's a lot of money spent, and a lot of money is spent knowingly on NASA. Millions and millions of dollars are spent on spacecrafts going up and all this knowledge. So people want to know that we're moving forward. So every now and then they give us a little bit of knowledge, like we're doing stuff. Well, I think we're doing way more than we let on. I honestly think that and hearing this guy's stories, whether you believe them or not, they're fascinating. Some of the things, like if that's his imagination, then fuck, write a book, because it's but basically there's generals that are off planet and they just don't come back. There's colonies, apparently. There's all sorts of stuff. Like, they go into like veins on Mars, like lava veins. I'm not like from like old systems, and apparently like colonies that live in there and all sorts of stuff. So they go pretty deep on that show.
Right.
Like and it takes you back to I think, and in that CIA thing, the one thing I was looking at was that Bunker 7 or whatever. Yeah. There was some stuff in there about that, which is the that legendary place that was built by American construction workers that lately went missing. Yeah. And it is a 7-leveled bunker, and the bottom 2 levels of this bunker are apparently for the aliens. Right. So only alien activity, and these would be the ones that we've been talking to or been with since the outreach of the space program. And they had stories of like one guy was it was kind of like a guard, you could say. Like, he was like a lieutenant or something, and he was talking, and he managed, one of the only guys to ever see the alien part, because for some reason he was told to go down the elevator and get someone that was authorized to go down there or something. Right. And when they went down there, a little bit of hell broke loose between the species, and all of them got killed bar him, but had some really nasty scars on the side of his face and down like his arms and stuff. So he'd definitely been in some sort of fight. But right. And he said the things that he saw, like just from the minimal time that he was in the elevator and watching like this fight go down, apparently there was like big like glass containers of like what you would say would like remains of humans, almost kind of like broken down. And a lot of times when you do, if you do get the books like the Blue Planet Project, which is apparently a book written by someone that was inside of the government, just writing notes. It's written really weird in note form and stuff. And he talks about this first gray type of alien that we came in contact with lives through our essence. And there's something about us that they're able to actually use to help keep. So, a lot of weird stuff about Unit 7. And there was some weird stuff about how it was built and the construction workers and the blueprints. And they all ended up dead. So that's some crazy. There was a crazy stuff on that channel, man. And then there was some cool stuff in the CIA papers because... It kind of linked up, but I
wonder sometimes though if a lot of these things, if it's just kind of like building on lore and story and all that kind of stuff, and it expands almost too far. If you look at things like, I just feel let's just take for example the Bible and stuff like that. There's so many different interpretations. There's so many ways that people read it, and the stories sort of take on a presence that maybe something happened at the root, but and throughout history it sort of
happens with anything. Like we could tell a story now and pass it through 5 friends, and by the end it would still be a little different. Yeah. I think it's not so much the little stuff that they would be saying. It's more the outer look. Like when you go to all these guys that are coming forward, they talk about the same races of aliens of being like, you have the reptilians.
And that's what I mean. Maybe there's some basic
common law
fact that's in
like
there.
The plumes of humans could be subpar, not true.
Yeah.
But then the fact that we are in contact with these aliens and they do own 2 bottoms of a level of a building that we have.
Right. And contact, I don't think is terribly far-fetched in a lot of ways because, I mean, obviously, with this whole NASA thing and the 7 planets that they've discovered, what's the first thing that NASA said? We're going to send out a radio signal. It's going to take 40 years to get there because it's traveling at the speed of light and it's 40 light years away. But ultimately, it's reaching out. And similar to what you're saying is that when you launch a space program, it's plausible that if there's somebody there that they actually heard it, right?
Yeah, and I think that it was heard and now a lot of stuff I've been seeing recently, a ton of stuff's been coming out about the moon.
Yeah.
About the real photos coming at what they got of the moon, and you can see those 2 people standing on the crater.
Right.
That these are real photos that come out. You can look at them on the NASA website. They've all come out recently. They're all declassified now because it's been so many years since then. They only had like a 35 or 40 year classification. Right, I don't know how that works. I'm not sure how the laws work behind that. I'm not a lawyer, but they got their hands on them, and you can see them. Whoever you are, you can see them. And there's something on the fucking moon with them. Like it's not doctored. They've had people check them. These are just things that are coming out in the light now. That this is how it is, and it's hard for people to believe when they see them.
We had the episode where we talked about the pyramids,
but it makes you wonder why we haven't gone back to the moon.
Right?
We went there once and we never went back, and no one questioned why we never went back. We made our space station. We can get to the moon, no worries.
Yeah.
Apparently, we were asked to leave.
Yeah.
It's not our place, and the moon is not ours. It's owned by someone else.
Right.
And you can watch many, many, many shows that will tell you about how stars move in and out of the left side of the moon. If you want to watch the moon at night, and a cool place to watch is you watch the top left corner of the moon, and apparently that's an access point. And you can watch many videos on YouTube that people do watch that spot, and you can see lights going in and out constantly all throughout the night. It's not a shooting star. It's pretty noticeable. And all this knowledge is coming out now. Like we're finding out that more happened when we did touch down on the moon. There was more to what happened. There was a reason why we didn't go back. There's, and now we're getting all these stories about this. There is another government out in the space that, there's other beings. And of course, like there's going to be other beings.
The thing with this 7 planet discovery though, and the other part that I was going to sort of talk about, which kind of scares me is that knowing that there is a place to go, right? I hope people don't all of a sudden assume like, hey, we've been fucking up this planet.
Yeah, that's just...
in theory, we'll be able to travel there when the time comes when we absolutely ruin this planet. And I hope that's not sort of a game plan that people are looking at. I know there's a lot of private industry that are investing, like Virgin in space travel and all that kind of stuff.
And I get that worry, but then, in my head, we've been involved with like I don't think our paths are really guided by ourselves.
Right.
And that's what I believe. I don't believe that our government is really ran by humans. I think that they've had infiltration since early 50s.
Yeah.
And like look how we've advanced. Look how fast we advanced. Even in like 50 years. Like we went so quick. There's a time period there where we boosted to what we are now. Like, and we did it in a short period of time compared to how long humans have been like around. It was
right.
And many scholared people but agree. Many people they talk about it on TV, on documentaries. And they'll agree that we grew fast for how our pattern looks and how we were advancing as a race. There is a 50-year gap where we just excelled, and it all happened after we released our space program.
Right.
And whether that's a coincidence or not, then it must be, if it's a coincidence and I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I thoroughly believe that if nothing else, that is a fact.
Yeah, but technology tends to leapfrog on itself, right? So, I mean...
Yeah, but to go from sending like radio waves out into the universe and like wondering what's out there to like, hitting the moon, like, a few years later is phenomenal.
Right.
And it all, and then
but we're still not really good at space travel.
And look after Roswell, which was the most iconic alien crash in the world.
Yeah.
Roswell. Is it not?
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
And they messed up themselves. Like they released a flying saucer hit the ground. That was the news report.
Yeah.
You can see it in the newspapers, and then it was a weather balloon.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a big mistake. And after Roswell, we got some technology that we couldn't have dreamed of. Yeah. And there's write-outs of engineers that literally back engineered that technology. And it took them 10 to 11 years. One guy was talking about how they had to back engineer what they found in Roswell.
Right. But on that note...
To be continued.
To be continued. We'll obviously talk about this in another episode. But again, thank you so much for being with us all this time. If you've been with us from the beginning, we truly thank you from the bottom of our hearts to be with us for 100 episodes. That's a long time. Watch us grow as a podcast and hopefully continue to grow and hopefully talk about things that you guys want to hear. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see from us in the future. And hopefully we'll be here with you for 100 more, quite possibly on Mars.
I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
Peace.
See ya.
Ooh.